Hey everyone, welcome to the Trendcrusher podcast. I'm Peter K. On this episode, I'm joined by Soumick from Warmarshal, the Indian death thrash band played in Mumbai last week. I caught up with Soumick after the show to discuss what it was like to play in Mumbai after 6 years, and also their recently released EP, The Diseased. All that and more in my chat. A quick disclaimer about it: there was a lot of ambient sound as we recorded this in a cafe in Mumbai. Yeah, you can also hear some of the music that was playing in the cafe. The audio is not the same as most of my usual chats. Apologies for that. Here's Soumick from Warmarshal. 2018, I get a message from now a good friend, Brijraj Agarwal, and he says, hey, you listen to like death metal and stuff. I'm putting out a release of this band. It's an EP. This is the first time I'm, putting out CDs and merch and things like that. Would you like to help me by, interviewing this band and talking to them? And I'm like, why not? So, yeah, he forms a WhatsApp group and he adds this guy who, help me remember, what was your name on WhatsApp back then?
It's still that, Rorschach.
Rorschach, right? And I was like, okay, who's this guy? And we get chatting, and it's weird when I think about it that it's like been 7 years since, because I think after the Warmarshal EP came out, we bumped into each other almost like every year, once at least, randomly at a gig.
Absolutely.
Like for me, and this is again because I'm going nostalgic, I remember randomly bumping into you at the Suffocation gig here in Bombay and being surprised that you were here, but you had come down. And again, considering what a death metal fan you are, I'm not surprised you showed up. But I don't know, this is like my initial memories and thoughts when I think about it, and anyone asks me like, hey, how do you know Soumick? That's how I think about it. I don't know, I'm curious, what was your first memories, or how did you ever hear of me or Trendcrusher? I'm curious.
Yeah, like it's the same thing, to be very honest. Like Brijraj, like when I contacted Brijraj, like, bro, this is a song and would you be interested or something? Brijraj was the first one who put out everything on mail properly, and he sent out, okay bro, this is your contract, I'm gonna sign you, I'm gonna take out your CDs, I'm gonna print your merch. Like, I did not understand that, like, am I real, like, is this music really worth like putting out on CDs and like some person helping out? But I guess Bridget saw some potential inside it, and that's how like the first EP came out. And I guess the Brijraj got out, the first CD that Brijraj got out was of Night. Yeah, we were Slatanic 002. I still remember that. And yes, exactly, that's when I came to know you. Like, I see this group formed. Okay, this is Peter. What does he do? I go search Facebook, I go search like social media back then, and I see, okay, fine, this person does interviews, this person is a good metalhead, he listens to a lot of stuff. And that is how I guess we, like, that was the first interaction, that I guess we first interacted in that WhatsApp group only itself. And then we kept on bumping.
No, and I think even during the lockdown, this is another good memory I have, is I did an interview, I can't remember if this was the lockdown or soon after that, but we did an interview with Carl Willits from former bowl thrower and then Memoriam. And the moment he found out that we were from India, he was like, oh my god, Warmarshal. And I was like, what the fuck? Like,
yeah,
the fact.
Again, thanks to Brijraj.
Yeah.
Again, thanks to Brijraj. Why thanks to Brijraj? Because, like, of everything, like, he did one small thing. He took a t-shirt, he simply put it, he parceled it to Carl. And the next thing I see, some guy from Greece sends us a photo of Carl Willits wearing a Warmarshal t-shirt in Greece. He's doing a show. We completely flipped. Dead. Like, that was like, like being a bolt thrower fan, and after bolt thrower suddenly like disbanding due to Kiddy's death, that like I always wanted to have something after the last album, like, so I guess that whole thing was inside my brain when I was like, how should bolt thrower sound like if they followed up. So that was the whole thing that was going through my brain, and I guess the songs came out in that way. That's like, it's funny to say right now, but yeah.
Coming back, right? It's been strange, and just to kind of see, and I say strange, right? Because like I've been following you guys for a while, and you know, whenever we talk off and on or message each other or meet each other, you'll always say that, hey, I'm working on something. I remember last year when Tom Fountainhead, actually it was a couple of years. Yeah, when he was down, you hosted his gig in Kolkata, and you were telling me that you guys are working on stuff. And there's been so much happening in the background, right? And then lo and behold, earlier this month, sorry, not earlier this month, a couple of weeks back, I get an email saying Warmarshal 2-song EP, and I'm like, this is nice. Like, I like how I'm getting to know from like PR that there's a new Warmarshal EP and not actually getting a message from you. But yeah, so for those who haven't heard, The Diseased, the new EP from Warmarshal, is out right now. How does it feel to have everything like now out and people can actually hear all the music?
So when Fountainhead came, we had a very heart-to-heart connect about different things of life. Like, actually, to be very honest, Fountainhead, more than our engineer per se or a producer per se, Fountainhead is like my psychological coach. I can say it right upfront. So we have spoken about stuff that is going in my life, that is going in his life, how things happen, how things occur, how human beings react to different things, and what we can make best out of it. I guess those conversations, that has been eye-opening for me, to be very honest. And his perspective is very, from wherever he has come to what he has done right now with Changeling. If anybody hasn't heard Changeling, they are missing out on a brilliant piece of, like a slab of properly made progressive metal. I wouldn't say death, I wouldn't say thrash, I wouldn't say any other. It's a thing of its own. Like, nobody can think of, I don't think so right now, in any like death metal band will go ahead and think, okay fine, I will have 18-19 layers of orchestration for just one part of a song. So that kind of thought process, like, I guess those things we connected. And then funnily, Diseased was, when I gave Fountainhead to mix Diseased, it was in 2023, I guess. Fountainhead mixed and sent it off it to us within a month, or 1 month or a month and a half. So from 2023 till 2025, that song has been sitting in my Google Drive.
Wow.
Yeah. Yes. That song was simply sitting in my Google Drive, doing nothing. Mixed, mastered, produced by Fountainhead, doing nothing. Needed, like, when, like, how should we release us, like, how do we release a song, and if we don't follow up with a gig, or if we don't follow up with a couple of gigs, then I don't think so. Like, there has to be an impact. With every release, the bar has to be set higher. That is what I felt, and that's why I guess this was the most opportune time that the new music came out, and people get to know that, okay fine, like, we are kind of dibbling and dabbling in extreme thrash as well a bit. That's how things are.
Wow. And I didn't realize it's been that long. But quick reaction to you talking about Changeling. I had a chance to speak to Tom when he was touring. He was actually in Hyderabad, and later we had like a really long conversation. Then I managed to catch him earlier this year when he released Changeling, and we had a conversation around that. So that was really cool. And yeah, I totally get, right? Like, even the person I spoke to a couple of years ago to now, his progression, his kind of perseverance with Changeling has been really cool to kind of just see. And especially as an outsider, right? Not kind of understanding everything else that's going on inside and at the back end. But coming back to Warmarshal, again, one of the things I managed to tick off after so many years is I managed to catch you guys live. So earlier this week, I caught you at Rampage 11, which was organized by Black Blood, who've been doing a great job keeping metal alive in Mumbai. The lineup was Demonic Resurrection playing on their 25th anniversary tour, Bego, as well as Carnage Inc. What is it like playing in Bombay after a while?
First Bombay experience was in back in 2019, to be very honest. Yeah, we started off in 2018. We got our first Bombay gig in 2019. 25 odd people came to a studio, Benchmark Studios, and we played. So that was Albatross, Warmarshal, and Dirge. I guess Biproda has been tight from back then, like very tight. And then the Dirge boys saw us, and we saw Dirge boys, and like Tabish is a sweetheart. Like all of them are sweethearts. Ashish, Tabish, Varun, like, can't speak more highly of that band. So we had been trying to come back to Mumbai, but due to circumstances, life, things happen. Like, there was a slump, had to go back, had to take care of stuff back in family. I guess that's where that gap, that's where the, like, a band starting from 2018 with just one EP, one single, and another two singles to follow up, it looks like scars, just 30 minutes of music out. But yeah, when life happens, I guess we need sometimes taking a step back and then hitting it out of the park makes more sense.
No, totally, right? And I think, anyone who's, I don't know, touching 30, post 30 kind of experiences that in life, and you look at, I don't know, it gives you a lot of perspective, a lot of like questioning. And I think, like, first of all, metalheads get this really bad rep. And then when I see everyone who's like kind of like closer to my age, which is 40, you kind of harden, so to say. I don't know. But again, feel free to share as much as you can. Like, how is that kind of life experiences what you had, right? Like, when you talked about the thrash influences and all creeping in, how did all of that kind of filter into what we hear now as the Diseased?
Okay, so I am a Slayer head. There, that's the band that has, like, when I first heard Slayer, I was like, what the fuck is this?
Yeah.
So that thing stayed back with me for, like, it's with inside me still today. All lyrical content, the haphazard weird solos, the way songs are constructed, the way thrash metal is written in general. After that, when I started slowly playing in different bands back in West Bengal, I had more exposure to thrash metal playing. Like, I had one death metal band, whereas I was going and playing sessions for different thrash metal bands, notably Mortar, then Deadbolt. So both of these bands don't exist anymore. let's not talk about that. But yeah, the the groove of death metal and the fast-paced rhythm of thrash is what ticks me always. And I guess like death metal being that superfluous kind of a genre where like you can literally do, I guess we can literally do any damn thing under the umbrella of death metal, because it feels like it's like it feels like jazz of metal. Like everything is encompassed within death metal. That's how I feel. So when I started writing, the choices were not conscious or something like I have to write like this or I have to write like that. Those became automatically, like those choices came to me automatically. And me being me, I try like not to pick up songs. I listen to songs for the sake of it, or for if I like it. I listen to albums after albums because I like it, but I have not given a particular effort of covering songs to be very particular. So whatever comes, just comes. And whatever music has been written across these years is like a natural progression of how my hand has progressed, how my right hand has progressed, or how my left hand has progressed.
Wow, that's well put. So I think at this point it's an opportune time to share. It's an opportune time to play The Disease for those who haven't heard it. Here's the track. Right, and that was The Diseased, and I've got Soumick from Warmarshal with me. Now, another thing I'm also curious, right, is when you talked about the entire plan that you didn't want to just put out music, right? You wanted to follow up with gigs and things like that. Uh, what made this time opportune for you, right, to kind of put out the release? Uh, do we see more music coming out? Do you see longer releases? Does it even make sense in 2025 to be putting out longer releases? That's also a question I have.
Very interesting question, or not interesting question, like actually human attention span, I feel is like has been carted down like drastically. So everything in this content hungry world right now I feel is of 30 seconds, where the first 3 seconds are only the king. If you can capture attention within the first 3 seconds, okay, fine, you stay alive for the next 30 seconds or the next 27 seconds. So coming from a very old school kind of mentality, longer releases are something which I'll never give up on. And like, even though attention span of humans can be small, but if your music has that capability of getting out some amount of replays, not some, like a good amount of replay, I guess that makes a world of difference. Good music makes a world of difference. Today, there are still black metal atmospheric black metal bands who are putting out 3 songs of 10 minutes each, and I go back and listen to them. It's not like I will not sit around for a 50-minute album. Me being a metalhead, I will obviously sit around for a 52-minute album. But I guess longer release, but not that long, will be the way to go. We should be trying. We are trying to follow it up with a bit more longer release, another EP. Music, yes, during this COVID period and the slouch one, the 2023-2024 one, we kind of got ample amount of life lessons, to be very honest. Yeah, because when life kicks you behind, there is nowhere to go, run. You can run away from your work, you can run away from your manager, you can run away from everything, but not life. So life has creeped into the music. More visceral thoughts have formed. As you said, like when metalheads go through this phase or go through these ages, they suddenly harden up. People actually harden up. Few people stop talking. Me being a metalhead, I guess I will scream out that. Like, that is how I guess I'll go for it. And yeah, definitely talking about new music, we have around another couple, 3 or 4 more songs on the back burner. Again, as I said, like, we like to keep things on the back burner, completed. Why? Because unless and until we are satisfied with, all the 3 of us, we are satisfied with what we have made musically, acoustically, vocals wise, it doesn't see the light of the day. Everybody has to, like, the 3 of us have to come on that same page, same plane. Does this sound nice? Are you good? Are you good? Am I good? About everything, every single aspect of the music that we put out. Be it the guitar tones, be it the bass tones, be it the snare, be it the double bass, whatever. How the vocals need to be thrown, like how the vocal delivery has to happen. So we nitpick a lot. And the writing process of every Warmarshal song is very much like the instrumental happens first, like a full concrete song happens. Only after that, lyrics are put. And it's not like that I jumble up lyrics and I try to haphazardly. That song conveys a particular emotion. That song has been written at certain point of time in my life when I was going through something, and I guess I try to encompass that feeling of what I was going through in my lyrics as well. That is how the songs come to be.
Okay, now couple of things I definitely have to ask you about, and I can't let you go without talking about is since your move from West Bengal to Hyderabad, you've also started donning the hat of gig organizer. You've been putting up shows in Hyderabad. First of all, A, why? And what is B, what's that experience been like?
Why? Because Hyderabad, obviously, Abbas is there, aggressive tendencies, killer organizers, no two words about it. Beautiful bands, running 32nd edition, 32 editions is not like doing metal gigs, 32 metal gigs back to back from 2018 or 19 is not a joke in India or in a particular city in India. So, and Hyderabad has a very a committed, a close-knit committed community. Unlike a lot of places. So, whatever gigs I do, I do it solely because I want my friends to come play. This many years we have played around 7 cities. We did a tour, and I have seen a lot of good bands out there. So when Hyderabad gigs happen, I would also like those bands to come down and play. Logistically, sometimes it doesn't happen, and if bands get repeated, that becomes another challenge. Like the same bands getting played and again and again and again and again. So there has to be some kind of parity, I guess, like where new bands get to play or those bands from outside get to play Hyderabad or get to play for this 60, 70, 80 odd people. On a great day, we get around 120 people. So example, Bego. So everybody has come from everybody is from an established band. But still, when we try to organize a gig, we need to do certain checks and certain due diligence to get the amount of people down there for that particular day to have a successful gig. I guess just for the pure love of metal, I keep on doing gigs, and it's not about trying to have some ulterior motive or something, but when people get together, enjoy that in a metal show, that is what makes my soul, that it feeds my soul. Apart from being on stage, that is the other thing that feeds my soul. It makes me happy.
Wow, that's quite interesting, and I think also kind of defines the kind of choices that you make with bands, because I remember when Bego was signed, right? And since I'm associated with Bego, when that offer came through, and we were like, okay, who are the other bands playing, and what kind of genre are they playing? And again, Bego's like sludge heavy metal, and I was like, okay, I don't know if these bands kind of complement, but the fact is that who else is giving those bands an opportunity and choice? So that also kind of makes sense, and your philosophy kind of comes through. This is a regular feature. If you were at the podcast, you know what's coming next. What are you listening to? I mean, you talked about programming bands, kind of giving bands an opportunity. Any bands you want to give a shout out to? Indian, international? Go ahead.
Okay. International, I would seriously love to see Bangalore Open Air get something crazy this year.
What are you listening to? Music?
Right now, if I would say in terms of metal or anything. Okay, I am listening to this artist called Yusuf Dias. He's an Afro musician, and he plays funk, soul funk R&B. So most of my time goes dabbling into different kinds of soothing music to per se. Listening to a bit of Glass Beams as well. those are the two things that I am gravitating towards right now. In terms of metal, I would say the wait, what was the last thing I listened to? Just a moment. I forget things. I'm a forgetful person. I'll just open my playlist. Yeah, I'm listening to this band from Germany called Canon and Fiber. Yeah. So yes, full masked guys, brilliant drummer, blasts of pedals like anything, double bass full, proper stuff. And there is another German band which I can't even pronounce. They play some kind of atmospheric post black metal. They have a new album out called, I guess, Martyr, from that big named band.
I think I know what you're talking about. We'll add those links in the show notes. Again, before wrapping up, I know it's like towards the end of the year, but for those tuned in, listening in other parts of India, perhaps any possibility of them seeing you live anytime soon? Any Hyderabad gig happening before the end of the year?
Let's see.
Well played. I think that's enough. I think that said enough. But for those who are still listening to this podcast and wondering like when these guys are going to stop talking, any final words, any message for them?
Try to do good in your life. Good ultimately comes back. Until the day you have the zeal to do good in your heart, you will be a marshal, a true marshal. That's all.
Awesome. Thanks so much, Soumick. So glad we finally got to do this, and hey, we managed to record this in person, so thanks so much.
Thank you. Thank you for having me, and thank you for doing this. I guess, like, it has been a long time coming. Quite a long time coming. We bumping into each other. Sometimes you telling me things about this band, oh, listen to that band. And I guess this has been a full circle moment now. Yeah, that's all.
Thanks, man. Cheers.
And that was Soumick from Warmarshal. Do check out their EP, and they've also got some pretty cool merch on the website. As always, link in the show notes. That's all I've got for this episode. Got another one coming out in the next few days. Stay tuned for that. As always, follow me on social media, Trendcrusher. Hit me up on email, trendcrusher@gmail.com. I'll see you all very soon. Cheers.